Now that you've set up your sketch preferences, we're going to build a profile that looks like this. This profile is a fully constrained profile, allowing me to create a solid from that profile. So before we get started, I just wanted you to see what we're going to try and build and cover a few things in the sketch environment. What we're looking at is a part with the grid. You can see the darker lines are the main parts of the grid, and in between is the graduations. These are set up to 1/4 inch increments. So if I right click anywhere in this field, which is known as button number 3, right clicking anywhere in the graphics screen allows me to hit excuse me, to display the action pad. Excuse me. So we're going to display the action pad. I simply select on the action pad and this comes up. A lot of times I like to leave it off just so it's out of my way, but a couple things you want to make sure before we get started building the profile is that you know how to turn the grid on and off if it's not there. And you simply pick with the left button this first one, and that one is called the grid. The reason why we set the grid is it allows us to select on point specific coordinates. And if you turn it off, when you go to select something, it's going to be really hard to get exactly on that corner. So this one here is snap to point. That allows that to turn on. So when you do go create let's say you're going to create a line, and you come over here, you'll see here these coordinates. They're bouncing all over the place. Okay, so if I turn this back on, it'll snap to those 1/4 inch increments. All right, if I turn this line feature back off, that tool palette goes away. If I go back to my feature preferences and I change that from 4 to 10 and hit apply and OK to accept that. Last time I didn't, or sorry, in the video you're going to see I don't hit that, I hit this X. That's because I wasn't changing anything. So if you don't want to change anything, you can hit the X or close. In this case I did change something, so I want to hit, actually it says 10 and 4. I'm going to hit tab and that will change this one as well. So both the horizontal and vertical directions will have 10 units in between the 1 inch increments. I'm going to select apply and OK to keep it, and you see that the grid is much tighter now. So now when I go to create a line, it's going to jump in tenths of an inch. So again, one more time how I did that. I'll turn the line off and I'll go to preferences and I'll change that number. Whoops, full screen that. I'll change this number from 10 to 8 and select OK. And what I've done is set this up to 1/8 inch increments. Select the line and you can see I'm popping into 1/8 inch increments. 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, and then the next one over was a 1/2 inch. 5/8 will be the next one over. Okay, so it goes in 1/8 inch increments. All right, I'm going to escape that because I don't need the line. So for the most part, I like the 1/4 inch increments. So for this next example, we'll use 1/4 inch increments, and then I'll select preferences and maximize the screen again. Change the 4 or 8 to a 4. Apply and OK, and now we're at 1/4 inch increments. Okay, to move the part from side to side and up and down, I'm using the middle button, okay, on my mouse, and that lets me move this up and down side to side. Okay, so if you want to move the axis to the corner to get it out of the way, you just kind of slide over here. Okay, again, it's the button number 2, which is the scroll button in the middle. Click and hold, and then as soon as you start to move it, by leaving the mouse button down while you're moving your mouse, it goes into the pan mode. This over here is known as the specification tree. What we're looking at is the bottom two are datums or anchors. That's these two elements here. That's your fixed elements when you build your part, and when I edit this part, it's going to go 6. I change it to 6. It goes from left, holds the left line down and moves that one. I can hit the undo button and put it back. Double click this one, change it to 3 and hit enter. The bottom line is the one that stays in this location, and the top line is the one that moved. So the anchors or datums establish the 2 fixed lines that won't move, meaning that this line and this line here are the variables that will actually move depending on what constraint value you put in. I'm going to hit undo and put it back. Again, I like to work with the action pad off, so I'll just turn it off. If you want to turn it on, it was a right click, display, and then action pad on the bottom. This bottom row here, where my cursor is flashing, these are known as the working tabs. So you pick whichever tab you're instructed to. You'll notice that different tabs pull up different things in the bottom row. The things that you're seeing flashed in the bottom row, those are called features. So in the demos, if I ask you to select on a feature, it's the bottom row. Anything in the bottom row is considered a feature. And in the next demo, you're going to use profile feature to create this same profile. So follow the next demo to go ahead and build this part.